Welcome viewers to Zalengam Media. Today we bring you an in-depth analysis of the escalating conflict along the Myanmar-India border, where the Tatmadaw, Myanmar's military, and various resistance groups, including the People's Defense Forces, PDF, and ethnic insurgents such as the Kachin Independence Army, KIA, Kuki National Army, KNA, and Chin National Army, CNA, are embroiled in intense clashes. This battle, which has now entered its fifth day, has resulted in numerous casualties on both sides and continues to be a critical flashpoint for regional stability. In this report, we will also explore the role of the Shan National Army, SNA, a key actor that supports the Tatmadaw, and analyze the situation from both military and humanitarian perspectives. The conflict escalates. Day 5 of the clashes. The fighting between the Tatmadaw and various PDF-aligned groups has now entered its fifth day, with heavy casualties reported on both sides. The PDF groups, which include the Kachin Independence Army, KIA, Kuki National Army, KNA, Chin National Army, CNA, and other local resistance factions, have been engaged in fierce gunfights with Myanmar's military forces. These groups have been fighting for democracy, autonomy, and the rights of ethnic minorities against the oppressive rule of the military junta. On the ground, the situation is dire. The conflict has intensified as the Tatmadaw continues its aerial bombardment campaign, targeting strategic outposts and front lines of the PDF. These airstrikes have been a key factor in the significant casualties suffered by the PDF. Numerous reports from the front lines indicate that while the PDF has managed to put up strong resistance, the constant threat of aerial bombardments has crippled their ability to defend key positions effectively. The loud sounds of gunfire and bombing are deafening as both sides engage in all-out combat. The battlefield is one of chaos, with no respite for those involved. Casualties and medical impact. The Tamu District Hospital, which serves as the primary medical facility in the region, has been overwhelmed with casualties, particularly from the Tatmadaw's side. As the fighting continues, both military personnel and civilians caught in the crossfire are being rushed to the hospital. Many of the casualties have been injured or killed in airstrikes, as the junta's aerial operations target key resistance positions, exacerbating the humanitarian crisis. The medical community in the region is stretched thin, with reports indicating that hospitals are running out of supplies and doctors are working around the clock to treat the wounded. The constant bombardment has led to widespread fear among the local population, making it nearly impossible for civilians to move freely. For the PDF, who are strategically placed in these contested areas, the situation is especially dire as they face an enemy that has the upper hand in terms of air power. Recruitment of males, a strained society. A striking feature of this ongoing conflict is the recruitment of all able-bodied men from the surrounding regions. Whether aligned with the Tatmadaw or the PDF, all males within Myanmar's borders have been conscripted into the fight, with many now carrying rifles and participating in the battle. This has led to a significant shift in the social dynamics of the conflict, as entire communities are mobilized into warfare. No males are allowed to roam freely in areas controlled by either side, as every adult male is now expected to serve in the military or resistance groups. Reports from local sources confirm that both the Tatmadaw and the PDF have recruited individuals indiscriminately, further exacerbating the violence. The relentless nature of the conflict has led to a situation where civilian life has been completely overshadowed by warfare, leaving men with little choice but to take up arms and fight for survival. As a result, the civilian population is experiencing extreme trauma, with few options for escape or safe haven. Shan National Army, SNA, and the support for Tatmadaw. One of the key players in this conflict is the Shan National Army, SNA, an ethnic armed group that fully backs the Tatmadaw government. Shan State, located in northeastern Myanmar, is one of the largest and most strategically important regions in the country, and the SNA's support for the military junta has deepened the complexity of the ongoing conflict. The SNA's alignment with the Tatmadaw is not surprising, as the majority of Myanmar's military personnel come from Shan State, and the region holds considerable strategic significance. The SNA has been actively engaged in fighting against various ethnic militias and resistance groups in Shan State, and its collaboration with the Tatmadaw has allowed the military junta to maintain a foothold in the region. As a result, the situation in Shan State remains one of the most volatile and militarized in Myanmar. The Tatmadaw's forces have benefited from the backing of the SNA, who have been instrumental in securing key areas and assisting in the suppression of the resistance groups. The military presence in Shan State is particularly crucial for the Tatmadaw, as it serves as a major source of manpower and logistical support. With the SNA's help, the Tatmadaw has been able to consolidate its power in key regions of Myanmar, even as it faces mounting opposition from ethnic armed groups. The support of the SNA has given the junta an advantage in terms of control over territory, but it has also fueled further tensions with resistance factions, particularly those that are opposed to the military's rule. The PDF and the battle for strategic outposts. For the PDF and allied resistance groups, such as the KNA, KIA, and CNA, the battle to control strategic locations along the border with India has been a matter of survival. These groups, while outgunned by the Tatmadaw in terms of air power and heavy artillery, have maintained strong defenses in key areas. The Tatmadaw's aerial bombardments have been the primary tool used to dismantle these positions, targeting outposts, command centers, and logistical hubs. These airstrikes have taken a heavy toll on the PDF's ability to resist and retaliate effectively. The situation is compounded by the fact that many of these strategic outposts are located in difficult-to-reach areas, making it nearly impossible for reinforcements to arrive quickly. In addition, the region is heavily forested and mountainous, which has made ground assaults by the Tatmadaw more challenging. However, the constant airstrikes have created a significant imbalance, as the PDF forces are unable to counter the aerial attacks with the same level of precision or effectiveness. Despite the heavy losses, the PDF continues to fight, bolstered by local support from the ethnic communities that have been oppressed by the Tatmadaw for decades. The resistance groups are determined to maintain their presence and protect the rights of ethnic minorities in Myanmar, even in the face of overwhelming military force. Geopolitical and humanitarian fallout. The ongoing conflict along the Myanmar-India border has major geopolitical implications, particularly for India, which has been closely monitoring the situation. With insurgent groups like the PLA and other Meitei factions operating along the border, India's northeastern states, particularly Manipur, have become critical zones of interest. India's security agencies are working diligently to prevent the spread of violence across the border and to ensure that the insurgents operating within Myanmar do not destabilize India's own internal security. The humanitarian impact of this conflict cannot be overstated. The constant airstrikes, bombings, and ground clashes have resulted in widespread displacement, with many civilians seeking refuge in neighboring India. The flow of refugees has placed immense pressure on local resources in India's northeastern states, which are already grappling with their own security challenges. As the conflict intensifies, it is likely that the region will face more instability, with both Myanmar and India dealing with the fallout. In Ramer's conclusion, the ongoing conflict between the Tatmadaw and the PDF, along with the involvement of various ethnic armed groups such as the KNA, KIA, and CNA, has reached a critical point. With both sides suffering heavy casualties, the situation remains dire. The continued aerial bombardments by the Tatmadaw have crippled the PDF's ability to defend key positions, while the support of groups like the Shan National Army has bolstered the Tatmadaw's efforts to suppress resistance. As this war rages on, the humanitarian crisis deepens, and the geopolitical consequences will continue to unfold, impacting both Myanmar and its neighboring countries, particularly India. Disclaimer: videos and articles referenced in this report are not owned by Zalengam Media and have been used under the YouTube Fair Use policy. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to Zalengam Media for more in-depth coverage of this and other critical geopolitical issues.